welcome to the inaugural episode of the Bulldozed podcast, and I am Birdman, otherwise known as Connor, which is a normal human name, and this is basically going to be my podcast where I just sit around giving unaccredited commentary, and, well, that's about it. It's just going to be me talking out my ass for roughly 30 minutes, twice per week, and I got some ideas in store, but obviously we need some more time to execute them. And so yeah, I mean, it's basically just going to be me doing whatever. Today I'm on a porch, my porch in particular. It's the Porch Cast, and people like porches, from what I am used to and what I hear. So yeah, here pretty soon we'll dive into everything, see what's flying through my brain today. I do have a little bit of fuel here, some go juice, if you will. This one is brought to you by Hazy Little Thing IPA, Sierra Nevada, good brewery. Don't know if you can get it where you are, but it managed to make its way all the way out into Oklahoma. So yeah, and let's see if I can get through this without any interruptions. Everybody knows that podcasts are all about continuity, so let's see what happens. So yeah, first of all, I like to smoke cigars. I like to smoke cigars a lot, and I just got into it, and I think that is fueled by my unbridled addiction to nicotine. It's a fucking train flying off the rails, not the racks, but, I just can't think straight when I eat my cancer sticks, you know what I'm saying? I'm a big vape guy, love dipping, but I'm not going to make you sit through all that. So what I am going to do, though, is put on these sunglasses, crack open another beer right here, and I'm going to light up one of these Havana Honeys. These are very cheap, yet very, very good. And so yeah, once you start seeing me unroll a cigar or unwrap a cigar and light it up, I'm about to start talking about something I don't know what I'm talking about. And one exception to that would be something that is in the news today in particular. Today is, I believe, November 14th, 2019. And so I've noticed this thing that happens pretty frequently. And it might not be as frequent as you'd think. Essentially, all over social media, everything you've been seeing today, if you've been paying attention, is the term school shooting. Now, I know a lot of people hate school. I know a lot of people hate getting shot. Both are valid. However, sometimes I might take a bullet instead of have to do algebra. I don't know about you, but one thing I like to do is go through Twitter and basically just look at what the top trends are, and that kind of gives me a good feel for what people are going to be freaking the fuck out about in that particular day. Today, the first 4 hashtags that I see that are trending would be "I hope our next president," so, of course, "Orange Man bad," "Free shit good." Next one is 2019 in 4 words. I can sum that up pretty good. "Keystone Light every night." That one's pretty simple. One of them is "Inscrutable," "Frozen 2," and "Color Pop." Yeah, that must be British. I don't know what that means. And then, of course, the 4th one is "Gun Control Now." You see this every time an old lady shoots her dog in the foot on accident or something like that. But today, something a little bit different happened. They were pushing a narrative the minute the news broke, and that's not all that uncommon. But what is uncommon is immediately jumping to conclusions. Now, I've seen several things reported. I've seen reported that it was an Asian guy that shot himself and somebody else, not in that order, obviously. I saw also that it was just a suicide and possibly, ricochet or something like that took another one of these kids out. But I mean, they're living in California. It can't be that good, anyways. I mean, property taxes, am I right? But see, this is, I'm just going to go through a few tweets here. And, you know, people immediately jump to politics, picking a side, saying, you know, mass shooting this, mass shooting that. It was, correct me if I'm wrong, but 2 people getting shot is not a mass shooting. A school shooting, according to FBI statistics, can include anything from, or I believe in some instances, it's if there was a gun that was discharged within 1,500 feet of a school. And of course, they like to rally in a lot of statistics just to, you know, help their narrative a little bit better. But I'm not exactly sure what that narrative is. You know, a lot of people, I'm not particularly a gun guy, but I know a lot of people who are. Nobody's worried about anybody rounding up guns. You can listen to people say that all day. It's just not going to happen. And first of all, why is the gun the focus of the issue here? Shouldn't it be the focus of the deranged maniac that's shooting people? I mean, and this is the thing. In today's world, everybody feels like they have so much control over their lives that has seeped into having a lot of control over other people's lives. And of course, from that, they want to control the future, a la Minority Report. So that's something that's pretty funny. But I love these tweets. Like this one, another sad day in America, prayers for the families, yada, 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 blah, 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 blah. Gun control now. Oh, I need, give me some fundraising money because 2 people got shot. So that's pretty bizarre. But I'm going to take a break really quick, light this up, and get back into this nonsense. So yeah, that's tasty, and I enjoy it. We need to end something, I don't fucking know, but we need Cigar Control right now. So yeah, with the whole gun thing, it's so predictable. I'm not sure how many of you, literally tens of people watching this, know who Michael Malice is, but he's a great guy to follow on Twitter because he really just has cutting edge dialogue on whenever something like this happens. And I think the best thing that you could say for any of this is, you know, just go back, save yourself some time, and retweet all of your tweets that you put out the last time something like this happened, because these people have no original thought. They're not offering solutions. They're just repeating the, you know, autistic talking point of we need gun control. We need control. I lack control over my own life, so I feel like I should have an influence in the control of the life of another. So that brings me to another thing. Public schools are garbage. And that's true. When I was in high school, there was a fight every day. I went to a nice little suburb. It wasn't anything crazy. But see, that's just the thing here. When everything gets this recognition, and everything is expected to get this recognition when it happens, any sort of event like this, even if it's 2 people shot, which is, it's rough to say it, but that's peanuts. That's not an epidemic. You want to look at an epidemic? Go to Memphis, go to Chicago, anywhere like that. But that's mostly caused by, you know, illegal drugs, which may or may not be, you know, morally deemed illegal, or even sensibly deemed illegal. These are things that just fall under this umbrella of control. And that's what people really want, it seems like. Not, you know, decent citizens like you or I. And I shouldn't even put that label on myself. I mean, look at me. But it does not make sense that you would the government would be controlling all these other things, and yet not be able to control one thing. People see stuff and they're like, oh, well, mommy and daddy need to handle that. In this case, mommy and daddy are, I guess, Elizabeth Warren and, I don't fucking know, Bernie Sanders or something. Yeah, whatever. That's enough politics for that. I do have a couple other things I'd like to talk about, and these are called throwaway stories. These are things I see that are just completely pathetic. These are topics that deserve no clarity and no, they don't even deserve to be listened to. So that being said, I'm just going to go ahead and jump right in. Time magazine has declared John Legend sexiest man of 2019. Now, I'll pull a picture up in case you don't know who John Legend is, but this guy, he is known for having, him and his wife, who is another household name among stupid people, I guess. I don't really understand this thing. I'm not into celebrities or any of this culture, but if it's a trending story and topic, I mean, obviously there's enough people out there that care to at least listen if they're not actively engaged to this type of thing. But this one's pretty great. John Legend's sexiest man of 2019. According to what? Other turtles? This guy looks like a turtle. That might not be an original thought or observance, but he's a turtle. He looks like he had an allergic reaction, and maybe that allergic reaction is to the lack of notoriety that he's experienced, because his wife, allegedly, is a model, I think. But all I can find on her resume is basically having some sweet clapbacks on Twitter to elderly Republicans, which is by far the easiest demographic to make fun of, so why somebody's doing that, it's not exactly groundbreaking. But, yeah, so they threw this guy into the mix and shoved him down everybody's throats, and I'm sure you appreciate that. A lot of people like that. See, that kind of fits into that whole control thing I was talking about. What you like and what you're encouraged to like, that's controlled. You're not going out and actively seeking these things that you want to see, you want to listen to, and you want to be told. They're just told to you, and you either accept them or you don't. And most of the times these people do accept that and just kind of roll with it from there on out. They just keep going. So it's a little bit frosty out here in central Oklahoma. Probably sitting at about 43 degrees. I was not prepared to sit out in this cold like this. The sun is rapidly setting, and I am still wearing sunglasses. Sorry for the technical difficulties. But yeah, that's number one throwaway story, I believe, for now. And number two is coming up right now. Alright, so throwaway topic number two. Now, this is just honestly kind of lazy because I'm going down the trending topics list on Twitter, but 2019 in 4 words. Hashtag before. 2019 in 4 words. Okay. Do you want to guess how quick it took for this to immediately get political? Check this out. So, first thing, I just typed in that hashtag. First thing that pops up, we got pretty good Phil over here who looks like a fairly submissive guy. Impeach the motherfucker already. Okay. Whatever. Here's another one. Half-drank White Claw says, big ass fucking mess. Big ass fucking mess. Sounds like one of those LGBLTs. If you ask me, you might want to lay out the tarp for that one. Big ass fucking mess. Gross. This one's pretty good. Kitty says, providing free womb service. That's obviously a pun, but I guarantee you'll find some sort of, feminist nonsense kind of woven into that if you look further in. I bet it's a thread that goes on for 6 days, so I won't get into that. And, so yeah, it's I do like this one though. Dustin says, "Cat takes over internet," and it is really my favorite meme of this entire year, which is the cat sitting enjoying a nice meal and is totally impervious to the criticism that is being launched upon him or her or they, them, that thing over there. But I'm going to go ahead and kind of break down this meme for everybody. I believe that would be, kind of a appreciated topic, especially for, like I said before, the literal tens of people that will be watching this. But so upon first glance, it just appears to me that, and if you remember Grumpy Cat from a couple years ago, I mean that really took the world by storm. Grumpy Cat is dead, both figuratively and in real life. So meet Smudge. This is Smudge the cat. He is the new face of disdain and disapproval and disgust, all the diss words, really. But yeah, I believe that the clip on the left was taken from some sort of new housewives of some armpit city in the Northeast. The new divorcees of Hackensack, New Jersey, probably. Not too sure. But see, Mr. Smudge here on the right is just enjoying a nice, looks like a plate of lettuce or kale or some sort of leafy greens, collard greens for the more urban viewers. It just looks like he's trying to enjoy a nice meal. Then you've got this woman, just complete disarray over this cat enjoying its meal. But see, this transcends so many things. Some days I'm the woman, some days I'm the cat. And when you get out of bed in the morning, you don't really know. You don't know which one you're going to be. But you know you're going to be one of them. So, if you're concerned about the not knowing aspect, at least there's a 50-50 over-under there. It's not too far of a stretch to say it'll be an either good or bad day, depending on whether you're the woman, the cat, and occasionally you might get a wild card and be her friend who is restraining her there, hidden behind her hand, and it appears that she has some sort of large dangly earrings. So, judging by that, that woman is equally as terrible as the woman on the left with the yellow hair and the obvious, I believe those are lip injections. I'm not really sure. Nobody should look like that naturally. But yeah, I love this meme. It's very, very appropriate. And I think I've found the one of the best derivations of it, if you will. And that would be this right here, which is, it incorporates the Orange County Chopper guys, which if you were alive in 2004, you might remember. They built motorcycles and just kind of argued. And that was, I think that might have been the beginning of, just empty reality TV. I think it might have preceded the Jersey Shore, which is completely crazy to believe, but here we are. 2019 in 4 words. Cat lady mad yells. That's that. So, but yeah, that's just how it goes. I want to thank everybody for paying attention to this. If you're watching it this far, something might be wrong with you. But hey, who am I to judge? I'm just a guy talking to a computer for 30 minutes. So I will try to get some guests on. The Legal Name Podcast Network is comprised of like 8 to 10 people, or 12 on any given day. Like I said previously in the video with that little primer there, the little intro. And yeah, I mean, I don't really know where this is headed, but I figured I'd get a nice little kickstart on my own little gig on the same network first, to at least have a firm place to come home to rant, to rave, smoke a cigar and drink a good beer, sit on the porch, or the living room, or my bedroom, or somebody else's house altogether, different location, different state. Who knows? But I believe this might be something. Obviously, the production quality is complete garbage. You can probably barely hear a single word that I'm saying. But I do have some lights. And a bird feeder. I haven't really been paying attention, but some of those birds might have been just kind of dropping through, getting some seed, you know? And I feel like that's appropriate since I am Birdman, so... Yeah, let's see what we've got on the docket here, remaining. Oh, okay. I believe it's time for my video review segment. So I'm going to show you guys 2 different videos and discuss them. This will all be done in post, so I might have to shy away from the porch just for a split second, but hey, that's showbiz, baby. So let's go to our new segment, my new segment, there is no we, called Show a Video. Enjoy.
Oh yeah, motherfucker. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, motherfucker.
So, you're back. I hope you enjoyed that. The shades are off, so now, you know, I'm getting down to brass tacks, okay? Brass tacks. Now, I don't know if that is something that is hammered into the foot of a horse, or a tariff like implemented on some sort of semi-precious metal, such as brass, but brass tacks. I like to... Whenever I hear about something really good or I discover something very good, I don't like to keep it to myself. I'm a big connoisseur, if you will, connoisseur of just all things great. I feel like I like good comedy. I like good music. Lately, I've been getting into a lot of psychedelic music, and this all started about 2 years ago with Tame Impala. A lot of you might be familiar with Tame Impala. They have a lot of great hits like. And they're also known for some pretty good album artwork as well. So I got into them thinking it was some sort of just kind of weird shit to listen to. It wasn't anything that I was particularly interested in. But damned if that Spotify doesn't suggest some pretty good stuff sometimes. So I've learned about this new band called King Gizzard and the Wizard Lizard. And I heard them they popped up on my Spotify probably a year ago. Just kind of skipped through it, heard of them, it is alright. Heard them mentioned on a podcast again recently, and they're incredible. They're kind of an anthology type band. Every album has a completely different sound and almost a different genre. Different instruments, different influences. It's pretty crazy, but that's not the crazy part. These guys put out 2 albums a year on average, which is pretty good for Australians. I mean, they're just a bunch of mud people and convicts, so that's pretty impressive. But I'm going to link to their website in the description. And I'm not going to play any of their music just for the sake of, I'll link to their YouTube and their website. How about that? I'm not going to link anything because I'm still at least that in particular, or not their. I'm not going to play their songs on here just because I don't know how this copyright thing works exactly. But I'm sure I'll find out. I'm sure I'll get some weird emails from Team YouTube telling me that what I did was illegal in 30 countries. But back in my day, you're allowed to play a 10-second clip of a song without getting sued. So. Yeah, if you like any sort of psychedelic type rock or even like kind of this indie, kind of no frills type music, but very, very intricate. It's kind of like Fish, but listenable. I would check them out. King Gizzard and the Wizard Lizard. I believe you would like them. I've got most of the Legal Name Podcast Network crew hooked on them for now, so you will like that. Jumping to the world of comedy and podcasts, some guy you might know his voice. You might know his ridiculous videos of him portraying politicians and sex crime victims, most notably Meghan McCain, who I believe is the daughter of that brain tumor guy that started a bunch of wars. But yeah, so Tim Dillon, pretty funny cat. I'd like to describe him as the modern-day Chris Farley from Long Island. I'm not sure where Chris Farley is originally from or where he died or anything like that, but I know his mannerisms, I know his personality, and I know his general outlook on life. And Tim Dillon, goddammit, has got that pinned down. So go ahead and check him out. I'm also going to link to his YouTube channel. I believe you should like it. He has a Patreon too, so you should definitely subscribe to that if you get a chance. Personally, I don't give him any money, but if I tell other people to, maybe that'll make up for it. But another relight here. That's one thing I'll say about these delicious Havana honey cigars. You have to smoke them if you want them to stay lit, but that makes sense because they're pretty small. So they're about the size of a pinky finger on a petite woman is what I would describe them as. But yeah, go check out Tim Dillon. He has the Tim Dillon Show, I believe, once a week on YouTube. Pretty damn funny. I gain a lot of insight from him. He just doesn't care about anything or anyone. So I feel like that's I owe him some kudos because that's where I got this porch idea. Regardless of if this porch is nice or not, but I did get an idea. I believe several Americans have porches, so it might not be that original. However, but yeah, I mean, that's about all I have planned today for this podcast. I'm surprised if you're still listening. This is truly not enlightening or even informational. This is just me talking shit, believing in myself, talking to my computer on my porch like a crazy person, and scrolling through Twitter and giving you actually very little attention. Oh yeah, here's something I would like to. Here's something I'd like to get into, and I would love if somebody could email this to me. Email me at the bulldozedpodcast@gmail.com or the legalnamepodcast@gmail.com as well. And we also, Legal Name Podcast Network also has a page on Instagram. That link's right here. And so is our Twitter, which is right there. We're going to get those up to date. And basically, anything that's released on our YouTube, you can subscribe to our YouTube, and we would greatly appreciate that. But don't worry about that notification bell, because if you have a Twitter or an Instagram and you follow us, we're definitely going to remind you when stuff comes out. As soon as something is posted, it immediately will go on the Twitter and the Instagram, and therefore giving you alerts. I'm sure we'll have an email list start up at some point for all of our boomer fans, which there might be 2 of them, and I guarantee it'll be one of our parents, most likely, because who supports their loser kids more than parents, right? But yeah, I want to talk about this really quick. Kpop. What is it? I have no fucking idea what it is. I don't know what it is. All I know is that I see these guys that all fucking look exactly the same. I don't know if they're doing is this the Asian version of drag queens? I really don't understand. I don't get the hype. I don't even understand the culture of it. I know that Eastern Asia has some weird stuff going on. Japan in particular. Our buddy Carlos here at the Legal Name Podcast Network can probably tell you all about Japan and its oddities. But there's this group called BTS. I don't know what that stands for, and I really just don't even want to look into it. I would just like a simple explanation of... I just want a yes or no question. Is this the Taylor Swift of Korea? Like, this whole movement, this K-pop thing. Is that like their Taylor Swift? Because if it is, I mean, that's all I need to know. That bitch makes terrible music, and her fans will have literally jumped out in front of her, like, motorcade before, so... And that's kind of what I'm seeing with this K-pop stuff all the time. Anytime there's an interesting thread on Twitter about something political, somebody makes a brilliant point, okay? So let's tie this back into this gun control thing. Somebody's like, we need to abolish the NRA, which, by the way, is a private group. It's not in any way connected to the government, besides the fact that they lobby for gun laws, which any organization that is called an association, they're essentially a lobbying group. You can just kind of discount them if you're not into that type of thing, which I'm not. I think if you want to own a weapon, that's fine. It's actually probably should be encouraged. I should probably get one, judging by the mishaps that have happened in my neighborhood recently. And yeah, I just feel like every time there's somebody making a good point on Twitter, all of a sudden this K-pop account like pops in and says something very, very, very scripted and just kind of, just blither, nothing appropriate or even enlightened. Definitely not red-pilled. Yeah, it's always somebody with like a group of like 10 Asian guys in their profile picture going off on, we need to ban Chick-fil-A because they're not queer enough for us. Now, I like chicken sandwiches as much as the next guy, but I really don't want some gay dude's load used as mayonnaise. I don't even like mayonnaise. But that seems like what they want to do with Chick-fil-A, and that's what they want to do with America. So, with that disgusting cream pie, I will say goodbye, and thank you for tuning in to the very first episode of Bulldozed. I'm Birdman, and this is the Porch. Have a fantastic week, and I will see you next Friday? Possibly. Oh yeah, by the way, this weekend we will be recording a couple more podcasts, especially our weekly group one, or semi-weekly group one on the Legal Name Podcast Network. Be sure to like and subscribe that. Be sure to like and subscribe this video. If you have any questions, please feel free to email us at bulldozedpodcast@gmail.com or legalnamepodcast@gmail.com. Hit us up on Twitter, hit us up on Instagram. Give us some of those likes. Give us all that stuff. And I just want to give a big shout out to Havana Honeys. Don't know where you are, probably Cuba. Who fucking knows? And Sierra Nevada IPA, probably somewhere in the Sierra Nevada. That's all I could surmise from that. So, thank you for letting me drivel, and I will be back next week with another podcast, hopefully from the porch. We'll see you. This is Birdman saying goodbye.